Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be facing the new Reliquary bosses in Diablo Immortal. Let's go. So today we're going to be facing off against VOGMARIK the Tormentor. Human skulls and angelic armor, these are a few of VOGMARIK's favourite things. The demon stalks and tortures any human and angel unfortunate enough to enter his lair. Broken bones and cracked chest plates are kept for his coveted collection, while superfluous flesh is tossed to the maggots. But while VOGMARIK enjoys collecting trophies from his victims' bodies, nothing compares to the thrill of the hunt. So if you want to face off against VOGMARIK yourself, ensure you have completed the final Inferno 3 boss, which is Morsagarai. Most of us have completed this by now, but until you've done that, you won't be able to actually fight VOGMARIK, as this is the Inferno 4 boss. This is my first encounter with VOGMARIK. I wanted to share a real and first look at this boss. So I completed a couple of other Reliquary raids prior to this to check the strength of this character, as although it's high resonance, it has no essence mastery and also no demonic remains, no Haradrim set up. So the character, although it has the resonance, is pretty weak just because it doesn't have all the damage coming from other areas. So this is VOGMARIK, and this is what you can expect from this raid. Now, this battle was pretty intense, doing this solo because there wasn't any of the other creators on my server. It made it a little bit difficult, and yeah, it was definitely interesting to say the least. The attacks are pretty constant from this boss, and they range from exploding growths, as you can see on the floor there, to chains, to the walls actually crushing in on you. So there are a lot of attacks to try and avoid, as you can see here. So luckily the survivability on this character is okay, considering the damage that it is outputting is pretty low. But yeah, for now I'm going to let you watch and enjoy the rest of this raid and laugh at how much of a noob I am playing Barbarian. Now, one good thing about my character having low damage output is the fact that you will actually get to see most of the phases of this raid, and this will give you an idea of what to expect once this is in game, because obviously we're not all going to have the combat rating for this as soon as it lands. A lot of us are going to have to farm pretty hard once the new difficulties drop. Even if we get a raised Paragon server level, we will still have a lot of farming to do because we haven't been able to pre-farm for this difficulty like we have with other difficulties previously. So it's going to make it quite hard to get the recommended combat rating, I believe, for this boss. So at least now you can get an idea of what this looks like. At this point in the raid, you can see it's like a travelator. So the floor is actually moving, and there's these obstacles to avoid so that you don't take any damage. There's literally damage coming at me from everywhere. There's so much to avoid here. We've got these like spiked wheels running up behind us as well, and the floor has finally stopped moving, I think. No, is it still moving slightly? I don't know. There's so much going on in this raid. As I said, it is pretty intense, and this is going to be quite fun for a lot of people, I believe. I don't know if it's going to seem really difficult in game. As I said, this character is quite high resonance, so the survivability on it isn't too bad. But look at this. There's just so much to avoid. I'm trying not to get too close to the spikes on the walls. I've got these wheels rolling towards me that are covered in spikes, and yeah, there is just so much going on. And again, the floor is moving, so I'm having to constantly move with this as well. So when you face this boss, definitely go in with something that gives you movement speed. Normally I would avoid that in raids and go for something that's going to just give me damage, but I think it's actually needed. You do need some amount of movement in this. So if you're wizard, definitely go with teleport or the sprite spark for lightning nova possibly, just so that you're able to actually continue moving and keeping up with this boss, because as you can see, the floor is moving us away from him, so it's hard to actually get that damage to hit and register on VOGMARIK himself. Now in this final phase, as you can see, VOGMARIK is now pulling those walls in to try and crush you. And yeah, this was pretty intense, but luckily I did manage to defeat him before we got to that enrage phase of this raid. So it was definitely interesting. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I'm going to save the other 2 bosses for on my main character when we actually unlock those difficulties. So that is it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.